it's Klepto, and today I'm going to the Bring Me the Horizon concert in Brazil. Except for not actually, because as you all know, I live in Osaka, Japan. But Bring Me the Horizon has done this movie where they recorded their largest concert ever, which was 50,000 people in Brazil recently. It was for their new album. And I mean, I guess it's not that new now. It's been out for about a year, but I am so excited for this because I've never been to see like a movie live before. As you know, I have a lot of Visual K DVDs and I like to watch them here at home. But like going to a theater and watching a concert recording there seems like a really interesting experience. And I'm curious to see how that's going to be. Here in Osaka, they did 2 showings of the Bring Me the Horizon movie. One of which was last week. And that was just a normal, like, you sit down in the theater and you watch a movie. Then, for the second showing, which is this week, today, they said that, like, standing up is okay, headbanging is okay, cosplay is okay, bringing, like, lights is okay. So I'm curious to see, like, how all out all the fans will go. Because sometimes Japan has events at movie theaters. Like, I got a surprise when I went a couple years ago. I saw the anime movie Promare in theaters like 3 times because it was super good. 3 or 4 times. But one of the times I didn't realize that I'd bought a ticket for the like showing where it's okay to like shout at the screen and bring your lights and everything. And I was so surprised because the fans had like certain reactions that were established that like at this point in the movie you're supposed to say this and things like that. And they were all so into it. So I'm curious to see what this Bring Me the Horizon movie will be like at the more intense showing. It's at a theater in Umeda. I've never been to this theater before. I'm not really sure what the seating is. Is there a standing area? Do we all just like, is it normal movie theater seats? We're going to find out. So yeah, I'm really curious to see what that's like. Also with the new, the last few albums, Bring Me the Horizon has been having so much lore for all of their like, it's a whole story. And I love all the imagery. 3 years ago, I went to see Bring Me the Horizon when they came to Kobe. And that was an amazing concert. And one thing that I really liked about that was not only the, all the music, but the visuals were really impressive. Most Visual K bands, as you know, don't necessarily do a whole screen with visuals behind, sometimes for like really big concerts, but most of the time it's more focused on the band. But Bring Me the Horizon had like all of this imagery and animation and everything, and that was just like it tied together into a whole really interesting experience. But let's back up for a minute because, so how did I get into Bring Me the Horizon? Right now, I would say that they are one of my top favorite bands. They're one of my 2 favorite bands, like Western bands, the other one being Linkin Park. But yeah, I really love them. But I feel like as with so many things, I am late to the party with getting into them because everybody expects that, I look like this, that if I look like an emo kid, I must have known about Bring Me the Horizon for ages, but that's not actually what happened. I first found them through a song cover done by another artist on YouTube. And that was like, I don't know, I was just randomly browsing YouTube, I guess. I don't remember how I got there. That was about 5 years ago, I guess. Yeah, something like that. When I was working at my previous job, which was not a great place. And it was a remote job. And I'd put on some music in the morning to try to hype myself up for this job that I really didn't like. And one of those songs was this Bring Me the Horizon song. And I really thought it was cool. Of course, after hearing the cover version, I went and listened to the original. I really liked it too. But then I kind of forgot about them for a while. For whatever reason, I didn't go deeper into their music. I guess I was too busy listening to the cover band and not to their actual songs. And so I kind of forgot about them for a little while. And then I guess it was probably almost a year later that Arcane Season 1 came out. Amazing. Loved it. And I was pretty obsessed with Jinx, of course. Her imagery, I think, is just something I really like. And so I was listening to some character playlists, as I do. On YouTube, I found a Jinx playlist that included the song Kingslayer. And I was like, oh my God, what band is this? This is like perfectly my ideal genre of music. And I found out it was Baby Metal and Bring Me the Horizon. And I was like, oh my God, okay, well, I've heard of Bring Me the Horizon. This is amazing. I clearly need to look up the rest of their music. And slowly I looked up more of their music. And then I guess, about 3 years ago, I was in a very bad situation. And some of their music just really resonated with me at the time, and it actually like helped to give me the strength to leave that situation, which I'm so glad that I did. But because of that, I have a very special connection to some of their songs, and I appreciate the motivation and strength that they gave me at that time. So being able to see Bring Me the Horizon live in Kobe shortly after all of that went down and after I got free from that situation, which actually, now that I think about it, is about 3 years ago, like just about exactly 3 years ago. It was really special. I cried through so much of that concert, but also it was just a very cathartic experience. So Bring Me the Horizon is a band that's really special to me, and I feel really grateful for some of their songs helping me to realize some things about my own life and make positive changes going forward. So yeah, love them. They're really good. And I've, of course, since then, continued listening to lots of their music, and their recent album especially is one that I really, really like. This whole the post-human next gen imagery is just super cool. It's got so many of the songs that were released as singles that I loved, like Strangers, Die For You, Lost, Amen. All of those are like in this album, and those are all songs that I loved individually. And then we've also got some new favorites, like Top 10 Statues That Cried Blood and R.I.P. And I also really liked Utopia. Utopia was one of the songs on my nap playlist for the last year, so every time I take a nap, it would be like one of the first songs to play. It's just somehow very calming. But yeah, so many favorites there, and including some favorites that were out like at the time of the last Bring Me the Horizon concert that I went to, but that they didn't play. Like, I really hope that Strangers is included in this movie, because I feel like that would just be such a powerful song to hear live, surrounded by an audience that is strangers, but that we're all connected through this band. So hoping to hear that one. But yeah, I'm just really excited, and I don't know what to expect. It's going to be kind of a new thing. So as usual with concert reports, I thought I'd just bring you along and tell you about it, because it's fun. So I have to go to work now, so I will see you in like 9 hours after work when I'm headed to the concert itself. But yeah, I think that's all that I wanted to say, just that let's go. And since y'all love her and always want to see her, here is Hime. She is grumpy that I picked her up because she was napping. But she is cute and fluffy, as always. So I am done with work, and it is time to find the cinema where this is showing, which I'm pretty sure I know where it is. I've just never been here before. So there was probably an elevator. I probably should have taken the elevator, but instead we're going to take like 7 escalators, because that's fun too. So yeah. So I found the theater, and there's like no posters or any signage that says Bring Me the Horizon, but thankfully there's a lot of people here with Bring Me the Horizon t-shirts, so I know I'm in the right place. Oh my god, so that was very fun. It's time to go home, and then I will give you the full report. All right, hello. I am back home, and I have had food, which is very important because I was starving after the concert. It's been like, what, 13, 14 hours or something since I sat down to film the first part of this video. I think it's been 14 or 15 actually. But anyway, it was great. It was great. I got some very cool little tickets. This looks so cool. I thought it was like printed on a pearlized paper, but it's actually like a ribbon. It's like fabric on the front, and on the back is like paper, so that's a little confusing, but yeah, the front is like a cloth ribbon, and it's like a satin ribbon. It's very pretty. that's a cool souvenir. And this one has like the QR code to buy merch. So that's a fun little thing from this. And as always, I took some notes, and we'll just go through and I'll tell you how it was. Of course, yeah, no recording allowed, but because this was, hold on, Hime's up to no good. Hime, what are you doing? Don't do that, please. I'm trying to film a video. Thank you. Okay. Because this is a movie, it literally exists in the world in video form. So I'm sure you can go find it out there somewhere on the internet if you really want to. Yeah, so since you can see it somewhere, I'm not going to go through like all the specifics of everything that was said or, you know, during the NC portions or anything, like I do with the Gazette lives that I make reports about. But I just want to kind of run through it, tell my impressions, and let you know how it goes when, you know, a metal concert is shown in a Japanese theater and it's like okay for people to be loud and stuff. Hold on just a second. This is really important, trust me. You know what it's going to be, right? It's a Hime-chan. Oh my god, she's so cute. Look how cute she is. Oh, I love this fluffy little baby so much. She's so silly. Do you see her toes? Do you see her little face? She's so silly. Anyway, this baby, I love her. I should just do the whole report like this. But yeah, so it was a theater. It was like an IMAX theater with a huge screen. And I was in the 4th row from the front on the far left aisle side. Actually really close to the screen. So like, you know, you kind of have to look up to see the screen kind of thing. And when I first sat down, it was like mostly full, but there were more empty seats than I expected. This, of course, had a ticket lottery, so I thought it was going to be super full, but then I got worried that there were actually, like, they didn't sell all the tickets. Later, though, people started to arrive. Some people were just late, and I'm pretty sure it was entirely sold out. So that's good. It's always nice to see people loving Bringing the Horizon enough for their show to sell out. I'm sorry, this cat, I haven't cuddled her enough since I got home because I was eating food. But yeah, I do wish I'd been maybe a little bit further from the screen in some ways because it's kind of hard to see when it's so big and you're looking up. But it was also very nice to be close to the very front of the screen for reasons that I will explain very soon. Hime's getting antsy, so I'm going to have her say goodbye for this video, and you'll probably see her in the next one. All right, go, be free, have fun. All right, and I have cat hair stuck on my face, as always. Okay, so the video started off with a bunch of heartfelt messages from the fans, and I think, sorry, I gotta get the cat hair off my face, so I'm not gonna be able to focus on the, like, thoughtful things that I had to say. Okay. So yeah, it started off with a lot of messages from the fans, like as they were waiting outside for the concert to start and everything. And I think one thing that's so powerful about emo and visual kei music and all of these things is just how much it means to people. And I mean, I think that's true of bands of other genres too, but especially for some of this music that kind of has darker themes and things. I think it's just like so many people feel such a connection to it, and that it has helped them through some tough times, and they always have some really heartfelt stories to share. Then once we started getting into the beginning of the concert itself, it started off like a PlayStation 2 game, and I just love that. I really like that about the whole branding of this particular album, how it has this kind of PlayStation 2 feel with the Final Fantasy logo and everything. It's just great. So it started off on loading screen, and just like I'm looking at all the details and the graphic design of everything, I'm just like, I want to play this game. Like, it's going to be a good game. I want to play this game. I wish I could stream that game. Should they make a Bring Me the Horizon game? I think they should. That would be pretty cool. But Yes. So we started off with that, and I'm trying to decode what this squiggle says. It says that the first song was Dark Side. I'm pretty sure that's what that says. And then it went into Mantra and Happy Song and Teardrops, and people started jumping a little more for Teardrops. So from the very beginning, like before the thing even started, I would say that there were some people standing up in the audience. There was one guy very noticeably in the first row, a couple people on the right-hand side, nobody really close to me at first, and then in the back there were actually quite a few people standing. But it started off with most people sitting, and the first few songs, some people put their hands up, but a lot of people were just watching it as a movie, and the energy was kind of quiet. Of course I was standing up because I could, and also being so far on the aisle, like way the heck off by myself, I had the whole aisle to stand in if I really wanted to. I didn't even have anybody on the other side of me at first. That person showed up later. So finally, by the time we got to Teardrops, which was the 1, 2, 3, 4, fourth song in, people started jumping a little bit more people stood up, and that was good. And then we got into Amen, and this was the point when hold on. No. Okay. So yeah, things got kind of hype with Amen because story-wise to this angel creature breached containment and like came out to the screen to the audience, which was a pretty cool graphic. I remember they had some similar, different creatures, but similar graphics in the concert that I went to in Kobe with things like, originally they start off with the screens in the back of the concert looking kind of like church windows, and then some creature comes through them, like when they're performing on stage, and it looks really cool. So this time it was kind of this angel creature. Sorry, the cat hair's still bothering me. And then we went into Kool-Aid, and it was at this time that a mosh pit formed, and not just any mosh pit. So I guess it was pretty close to the beginning of the concert that I noticed someone with very bright hair walking toward a seat near the front of the audience, and I immediately knew who it was. It was my friend Anita, Veganita Dollar. You can find her on Instagram. She talks about a lot of vegan information here around Osaka, so if you're vegan in Japan, she's a great resource, and also a huge Bring Me the Horizon fan. So she went down to the front of there was a pretty big space in front of the front row between them and the screen, and started a mosh pit, which I joined. Actually, that's the first mosh pit I've ever been in, because for the Bring Me the Horizon concert before, I was like in the stands, like up where there were seats on the far side, which I liked because it was nice to have the option to sit down. And I guess that's one thing that's really nice about the theater too, is, you can stand up and like have a lot of fun when you want to, but you also have a seat that you can return to and sit down. I really appreciate that. I think more concert venues should have seats. I think I've talked about this before. Why did my light turn off? Hold on. Hello? There we go. Because some of us get tired. Some of us have reasons that we need to sit down. And so, yeah, I like when you can stand up and do whatever you want, but then when you are in a seat and you can sit down and take it easy in between songs that are really hype, or just like when you need a break, that's good. But back to the point, Anita started the mosh pit in front of the first seats, and that was really fun. The first mosh pit that I've been in, because generally I'd stay away from mosh pits, but there weren't so many people involved in this one. Mosh pits just seem overwhelming and a little scary to me, especially as a small person. I'm a little bit taller thanks to my 10 centimeter platform shoes that I wear everywhere, but I'm tiny. I've been knocked flying before. That may be a story for another time, the time that I got a concussion because I got knocked over and went flying. But mosh pits seem a little bit scary to me. And so Normally, it's not something that I'd be part of, but since it was only a few people and it's in a theater rather than an actual concert venue, I knew it wasn't going to get too crazy. Technically, we weren't supposed to start mosh pits, but the staff allowed it for quite a while before breaking it up. But anyway, Kool-Aid mosh pit time was great. Then things calmed down for a bit, and we went into Shadow Moses. Most people were in their seats. Of course, we stood up again, too, though. And then they went into the OST spiritual. And during that time, they had a lot of cool animations. Of course, Posthuman Next Gen just has so much lore to the whole story and everything. And that was pretty cool. There was a moment where like the whole crowd was drawing pentagrams in the air together, and that was kind of a cute moment. Then we went into NA, and just like as we were watching that song and stuff, I was noticing, because the screen kind of looks like the UI of a game or a computer or something like that, there's so many little Easter eggs hidden around in all the text. Like, it would take forever, or pausing on a bunch of different frames, to notice all of the details that they put in, and I think that's pretty cool. Just like, I really like the concept of the whole concert and everything. They went into Sleepwalking next, and then the little creature M8 showed up, and Celine is so cute. I really like her design, and it was kind of fun to see how their story, like along with Eve, how it all just plays out. What in the world do those scribbles say? Then after M8 and Celine showed up, they kind of downgraded Eve to like Nintendo 64 graphics. Honestly, I think it was lower than Nintendo 64. It was like, I don't know, like Super Nintendo graphics, but it was cool to see like a different style of graphics and everything. What does this say? I don't know. I think that's the name of another song, and I don't know what it is, but that was when they played, this was when they played Kingslayer, which is why I was way too excited about it to write anything coherent, because like, what is that? Literally, what is that? That doesn't even look like English. And of course, this was when the like Mosh Pit Part 2 formed, which was the best one. I love Kingslayer, and that was super fun, and it was great to see everybody so hyped up for that song. Very, very good time. Then we had Parasite Eve, and then Follow You. And I have a lot to say about this song. Follow You, to me, is a very important song, just in terms of my own history with it. But I think one thing that was really strange to see was that during that song, there were so many videos of, the audience in Brazil. A lot of the performance video was not only the stage, but focused on the audience as well, which is kind of an interesting thing compared to how they film Visual K lives, because they generally don't show the audience all that much. They're way more focused on the band, but there was a lot of audience footage of this. But for this song, they told people to get up on other people's shoulders and stuff, which was kind of fun, because in the theater there were also some people who did that in the front row. But to me, this song is absolutely not a love song, and it is a toxic relationship song. And it surprised me to see so many people proposing to their partners in the crowd in Brazil. Like, there were multiple proposals that happened during that song. And it just feels so off to me, because to me, Follow You is absolutely not a love song. I get that at first glance, first listen, it sounds romantic. But being a one-man cult for somebody, having your partner drag you through hell, are not things that are romantic. Those are not things that should be that way. your partner should not drag you through hell. You might end up in hell together just because of the circumstances of life, but then you're there to support each other as you fight your way out of hell. They should not be the one dragging you into hell. And I think that's why for me and when you see the video for Follow You too, I think to me that video, you know, he's pretending to go through life seeming happy, but you know, he's bruised. He's hiding a huge secret in some ways, except for that in this case it's visible on his face, and he's going home to a partner situation that's clearly not a healthy situation. So I don't know if the band has refuted that and said, you know, that Follow You is supposed to be a love song, but to me it is absolutely not a love song. So anyway, I don't know, it was just weird to see people proposing because that's just really not what that song means to me. But it was interesting that this time hearing that song did not cause the weight in my chest that I felt 3 years ago. And I suppose that's healing. That's good. Then we went into Lost, which is always a very hype song and just a fun time. And then Can You Feel My Heart? And during Can You Feel My Heart, of course, you know, Lost, Can You Feel My Heart, there's just also a mosh pit going on. And this is the point when the staff went in to break it up. And I think it's still like really worth noting that this is Japan. So the staff members breaking up a mosh pit, it only took 2 staff members. One of them, she was really tiny, and you just have to go up to the front and say, okay, you guys, no more mosh pit, and everybody will return to their seats. Like, I feel like that would not happen in most other countries, but yeah, 2 people are enough to break up a mosh pit here in a Japanese theater. After Can You Feel My Heart, there were some flashbacks to old Bring Me the Horizon videos and kind of showing their whole journey from their very first days performing all throughout their, you know, up to their recent concerts and things. And I was thinking, watching all of those, and there was a lot of, you know, footage of fans and the audience and stuff mixed in with all those videos of the band, but music's ability to connect people just is something that's really special about it as a form of a media, because it's a form of media that can be experienced live, and that creates these, you know, these concert situations that are these special spaces. Sorry, I'm talking too much and I probably need more water. I'll be right back. But yeah, anyway, so concert spaces are, you know, it's different every time. The audience is going to be different. The performance is going to be a little bit different. Not to get too cheesy, but there's this Japanese phrase of ichigo ichie, which means each time only once. And this is very much, you know, concerts are that sort of situation where it's only going to be, I mean, everything is only once. All of life is only once. But that's a situation, I think, when you really feel that it's, you know, different every time. And I think that's just something cool about, you know, experiencing music together in a live setting, is just that everyone is connected in that space, in that time. Anyway, I was getting a little sappy thinking about that as I was watching this montage of everybody. Sorry, I think I'm really dehydrated after the concert. Okay, and then they played Doomed. And during Doomed, there were like a lot of red lasers, like very thin red lasers. So many of them. And I thought that worked just super well with the post-human imagery. And it was really cool. Then they went into Drown, which was a part in the story of the concert where they are like scanning the audience members. And this was just a brilliant usage of augmented reality. Augmented reality, if you don't remember, is like when they overlay graphics on top of a real video, like in real time. And that is just something that was implemented really effectively during Drown, and that was pretty cool to see. Especially because that would have been happening live at the concert. Like, I don't think that's edited in post. That was something that they were doing at the time. And it looked really, really cool. Sorry. I'm froggy. Okay. What What does it say? Something about theater. Because it's a theater. It's kind of interesting that, like, there's a lot of different ways that people are experiencing this in the theater. Like, some people are sitting down the whole time just watching. Some people are standing up sometimes and then sitting down other times. Other people are, like, standing and, like, totally into it the whole time. And I think the audience is less unified than at an actual live show, because everybody's just kind of doing their thing. It's a video and not the actual show. And I think it being a video means that some people, like, unless you try, like, the general atmosphere isn't going to hype you up enough, or not enough, but, like, not as much as it would if you were actually watching a band live. You also kind of have to build that hype for yourself to, feel like dancing around when you're watching a screen as opposed to an actual band. So yeah, there's just a wide variety in terms of how people are experiencing a concert in a theater. It's kind of just interesting to look around, look on the side of you and see. It's essentially just watching different, people's different ways of stimming and how they react to the music and want to interact with it. Then their last song was Throne, which is always a good song to end off on. That was specifically the first song of theirs that I ever, like, knew of, and love hearing that all the time. It's just a very encouraging sort of song, and it's nice to look back on and, how far I've come. I feel like it's a song that, makes you reflect on coming out of a situation and being victorious in a way. Anyway, glad I'm not working at my old job anymore. But yeah, so that was the last song. And then the credits rolled. There was no encore. I was really surprised. Like, was there an encore in real life? I don't know. The credits rolled. I expected a little bit more of something else. But it was also interesting watching the credits roll on a giant IMAX screen and being that close to the front, because the curve of the screen, like, makes the text warp a little bit. It was making me a little bit dizzy. Then at the very end, we got a very fun little animation of Eve not being able to pass the "Are you a robot?" like CAPTCHA check. And that was, like, a fun end of the concert, but I'm still kind of shocked that there was no encore. Like, I'd love to know whether there was actually an encore in real life. But yeah, my thoughts on going to a movie version of a concert in a theater. Next time I will bring water. I wish I had brought water with me. Overall, I think it was super fun. It's pretty much the next best thing to being able to see a band live. But I will say the sound was a bit flat compared to seeing them live. You can, feel the bass or feel the vibrations of the music. It sounded, a little bit flat on a screen. And even at the beginning of the movie, there was like a disclaimer text on the screen saying that it was not optimized for Dolby, whatever. So I suppose it wasn't even quite properly formatted to be shown in a movie theater. Kind of wish they had. Still really fun, but the sound is a little bit flat compared to seeing them live. And yeah, it was overall, a lot less hype because some people are just sitting down, just chilling the whole time. And I guess, like, when I saw Bring Me the Horizon live, because I was in the stands, there were also some people just sitting down, but it was like, you feel the energy of the crowd a little bit less when it's in a theater and there's a screen. But I'm really glad that they did this, and I think they should totally start doing, like, live movies or concert movies like this for other bands. I heard that there was recently one for 21 Pilots as well, but, like, I think more bands should start doing this, for countries that they can't visit, or just to, obviously bands can't be everywhere at once, and showing their concerts as videos, I think is such a good idea and such a good way to keep people excited and involved in buying merch and all this stuff. So I hope that we see more of this with more different bands in the future. I would totally go to more of these. I had a fun time. I mean, honestly, I'm the type of person who just puts on a concert DVD and does this in my own house, like, anyway. So being able to go to a venue with a big screen is pretty fun. I was surprised that we didn't hear Strangers. Still, I've never heard Strangers. Like, I mean, I've only been like to their one concert and then to this one, but I really want to hear Strangers live. I feel like that would be such a good song to hear live. And there weren't as many songs from Posthuman Next Gen as I expected there to be. And all the songs that were from that album that they played were actually like singles that they released prior to that album. None of the other just songs that were on the album but were not singles were played at this concert. And I was thinking about that, and I guess it's because, you know, this is a big concert in Brazil. It's their biggest concert ever. And so for it to be like, you know, in a different country, a giant concert of theirs, and oh my God, that stadium was huge. It was very interesting to see the shots of the audience in Brazil because that is such a huge venue. Like, I thought the venue that I went to for Linkin Park in Tokyo was big. This was big. But I don't know. It was a balanced track list for them being in Brazil, playing kind of just an all-around concert of their music. But I guess I was expecting a concert that was a little bit more focused on this particular album. Is that kind of a Visual K expectation of me? Because I guess Visual K bands often, you know, focus their current live tour on their most recent album. But I guess other bands, you know, maybe mix it up more. Maybe because, you know, they're touring in other countries and things like that. They want to play a lot of the old favorites as well. And then the other surprise, like the more and more that I thought about it, the whole storyline kind of involved this idea of getting to Utopia. And this whole concept of Utopia was mentioned a lot of time. So I'm kind of shocked that they didn't actually play the song Utopia. Like, I feel like that, you know, Throne is such a good hype note to end on. But it also would have, like, really wrapped things up nicely if they had played Utopia. So did they play it in real life? Was there an encore in real life? I'm so curious, and I don't know. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the concert this time. It was a fun experience, and I'm really glad that I got to go, and yeah, would absolutely do it again. So I do really hope that Bring Me the Horizon comes back, so that we get to see them live again. So hopefully it won't be too many more years before there's that opportunity. But yeah, I'm so glad again that I got to go to their concert a few years ago, and this was a nice little like thing that tied me over in between them actually doing another big concert here. I'll take it. It's better than nothing for sure, and it was a fun time. So yeah, that's how it is to go to a concert video movie at a theater in Japan. I feel like I had more that I wanted to say. There's so much just to say about Bring Me the Horizon in general. But yeah, we'll just end here, I think. And I'm gonna go stretch because I forgot to stretch before this concert, and I'm gonna be paying for that tomorrow. But yeah, time for me to go stretch and take a shower and take it easy. So thank you all for watching and coming along with me on this little adventure. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, whatever, wherever you are. And I will see you hopefully very soon in the next video. So, all right, take care. Bye.